My friends. Welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report. Hi, as always, I'm Dr. Love, and of course, that's my main man right over there. We got Sauce Bronson.
Listen, I'm the light-skinned man with the ashy hands, and I'm only here because Dr. Love has the plan.
I love it. We got a new mic debuted last week. Yeah, so we got that gravelly sauce.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. So, obviously, we had a little bit of wrestling going on this past weekend at the biggest wrestling event in the history of mankind in the universe, multiverse, whatever Tony Khan wants to say. So, obviously, obviously, you had the All-In show at Wembley, apparently selling or distributing 81,000 tickets, for the show. And overall, the show was pretty good, pretty good. It does look like we do have someone here in the chat already. We got a D-Town guy in the house. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, the real world's champions in the building. Oh, so like Philly Brooks. Well, how he's the real champion, right? Right, Sauce? Is that how it works? So, yeah, last time I checked, I think Chad Too Bad's champion, but that's, we got to talk about that. So, but good seeing you, buddy. Thank you always for all the chats.
For sure.
So, obviously, we have the show, the All-In show, and, overall, it's a pretty good show. But before we get into anything, and, I guess we'll talk about it since it was the first match of the night. And of course, we got our thing here showing, and we're not going to go in order here. Well, we might go kind of in order, but what we really have to talk to about has to be, since D-Town guy made sure to bring it up, the real world champion CM Punk versus Samoa Joe for the real world championship. So again, this was the opening match of the show, and CM Punk, right? This is a guy that demands, I've never had WrestleMania main event, and he's the opening match of the biggest show of all time. So, I mean, you're still not in the main event. How about that?
Right.
And you're facing off against Samoa Joe, old school rival in Ring of Honor. And in this match was just, to me, it was funny because you almost knew going into it that Samoa Joe was going to lose because it wasn't even for the Ring of Honor television title. So the second that was not even on the line, I was like, Samoa Joe's taking the job, unfortunately. But as for the match, it wasn't bad. You had CM Punk was selling that, selling the hatred, doing the Cena's, seeing some of Cena's moves, doing the Hogan leg drop and but he got beat. Samoa Joe was just beat his ass for seemed like 10 minutes, but it was probably like 5 minutes straight. But so what were your thoughts, Sauce, on that?
I feel like he didn't beat him enough. I just wanted him to beat him I just wanted him to beat him like a $2 steak or tougher than $2 steak, whatever JR used to say.
Oh my God, yeah, he did say that.
I think on paper, I honestly think that this could have been so much hotter as far as get the crowd really, really going. I think the only thing that made the crowd go was the entrances. But outside of that, the match was just it was just there. Obviously we knew Joe, Joe was going to do the job. And like I said, I wanted him to beat the brakes off the field for a good 35 minutes. I would whatever time limit the MJF is going to get, I wanted Papa Joe to just get one more minute than him. But overall, I personally, like I said, this match was kind of mad. These, especially Phil, he wants to do all these extra moves, these WWE moves. It's bruh, what are we doing here? People pay good money to watch you fight as Phil, not to see you fight as WWE, not to see you fight as Paul Levesque, not to see you fight as Jonathan Cena. No, listen, just wrestle your damn match, okay, you coward.
You coward. Yeah. And, the match went 14 minutes, believe it or not. So you got half of that match of him getting his ass whooped by Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
and then like the end ended up being he used his old Pepsi plunge move, which he hasn't used in decades, to win the match. And it's like, okay, he wins. All right. Then we hear after the show about, more controversy. Not as crazy as Brawl Out last year, but apparently Jack Perry, who's already had an issue with him from last week, with his whole issue with the glass situation, there was a confrontation with him and Jack Perry. Now, Jack Perry, I'm not even really a fan of him anyways, but apparently it's CM Punk, gets him in a chokehold to restrain him. And I'm sitting here like, he's like, you could hold his head back like this, and he'd be like, because he's a child. He's basically a child.
I was gonna say he's like a child. Like,
so if you really have to put him down right now on the ground,
what's going on right now? What are we talking about?
So I don't know. To me, it just seemed crazy that it took that much for it's like, okay, let's do this, but oh Lord, that's all. And then apparently, as of today, CM Punk and Jack Perry have been suspended. So
now, my question, Doc, is who's getting suspended for how long? Because we know they both ain't getting the same.
Well, the rumor was also for that Jack Perry wanted to take some time off. That was so. It's almost like he wanted this to happen, or he, especially the glass thing, like doing the glass spot after not saying not allowed to do it. And it's like we don't really know, honestly. But if CM Punk's getting that mad that quickly, then what the heck? Like, what the heck, right? Come on, guys. So that whole thing we found out afterwards, and then CM Punk opening the show, it makes me laugh. It's like, did he even stay? It's like, no, but maybe he did. But no,
I'm pretty sure he did, unless he got that much money where he was able to book a private flight by himself, But I'm pretty sure Phil just sat in his little locker and he just waited for everybody else to be done, then walked on there and and did what he did. Then apparently, there's other reports that apparently, I guess Phil decided to leave the arena himself because he felt like that was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
and whatnot, just not to be around, to try to ease things. And I wonder, was that before or after he was told he was suspended? Because I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure had he not got suspended, he probably would have just stayed in his locker, probably moped around, and then waited, got on the scrum, and got to, and then caused another fight.
Right. Got a couple chats here. We got a D-Town guy. They are both all out at all out. Of course they are, right? And in Chicago. In Chicago.
Can you hit that bell for the pun?
Oh yeah, we got it. So that's what you get. Any puns we got? We got the bell going here. And then let's see, we have the Mad Chatter. Thanks for coming back. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. We got some all kinds of yes. And then of course Papa Mafia himself. We got another on this cut day in the NFL. We got or the cut day. I like it.
cut.
And then we have another one here from Papa Mafia. I thought Miz did great impersonating LA Knight. I was laughing my ass off. Yeah, great promo yesterday on Raw. Great to further the feud with him and LA Knight. And I can't wait for that match at Payback, honestly, because these guys can work well together. And it's just going to... Miz is good at pushing people now. He's at that point of his career that he wants to make other people look good. So... yeah, definitely expect LA Knight to win to kind of further his spot on the roster. So
shout out to the GOAT, Miz.
Yeah,
I'm telling y'all, Miz is the Roddy Piper of our generation, and you cowards out there, y'all don't appreciate him enough.
Oh, we got CBM on the house, but is Jack Perry going to get the cut? I mean, guess what? If cut day, that would be a cut right there. So
yeah, let him go to WWE, let him go to NXT and just push merch, as as the fighting little toddler that he is. Kids love him.
Oh, I forgot. Papa Mafia. He's a Jack Perry man. He loves Jack Perry now. Oh God. Well, I got
Jack Perry. If you're listening, and I know you probably are, What you should do is ask Tony Khan for your release, and then what you should do is you should take all 4'3" of you, and go to WWE, go to NXT, and reprise the role as Dink the Clown. I'm telling you, that you can move so much merch as Dink.
It would be. Oh, yeah, because he couldn't be Doink. He's too small. Yeah, it couldn't be Doink. Definitely has to be Dink.
Doink is like 7 feet taller than him.
Oh, man. But let's see. But yeah, but for this match here, all joking aside, when it comes to the CM Punk Samoa Joe match, I mean, it was like a 2. Like, it was a 2. I'd give it a 2 headlock. Yeah, I'd probably say a 2 headlock was for me for that.
That's fair.
Yeah, 2 headlock. And then what about you, man? What do you think?
Let's see. I mean, I love Papa Joe. I love me some Papa Joe. And I only tolerate Phil when he's in, the square circle. I only tolerate him when he's got a microphone in his hand. Because as much as booty cheeks as he is in real life, I mean, he's money. He's money inside that ring. So with that being said, I'm prolonging this for dramatic effect. 2.5 headlocks.
Oh, they got the extra chop in there.
Listen, the only reason why we doing the chop in there is because of Papa Joe. This borderline would have been booty cheeks match.
I like it. Now, before we get to the next match, we'll go a couple chats here. We do have we got D-Town Guy. Can you see Will Ospreay going to WWE? And then continuing with that, which still the same answer. His contract is up in New Japan. So no, I have to agree with Sauce here. Will Ospreay honestly is a guy that likes to be able to move where he wants to be able to go to. Actually, on Sunday night, Impact Wrestling had their show Emergence, and they made an announcement that at Bound for Glory, he will be there. Will Ospreay will be at Impact for Bound for Glory. So this is a guy that wants to be able to go to New Japan, wants to go to AEW, go to Ring of Honor, go to Impact Wrestling if he wants. You go to AAA if he wants to wrestle there. Go to Shimmer. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. But you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like WWE, you're there. You're not doing anything else. It's the very, very few times recently, like Nakamura, do that show because they weren't using him for the great move. That's different. You're not going to do anything else, and Ospreay doesn't want to just do that. And he will be worked to death. Ospreay is almost like one of those guys at this point that it's like a what's the best way to put it? You have a really nice car, right? A really nice sports car, a really nice like muscle car, but you don't drive it a lot. But when you do drive it, it's a great car. But if you drove it all the time, it lose its luster. You'd lose its appeal. That's kind of like how I look at Will Ospreay. So it's not like a part-timer. We're not talking about like Lesnar or at this point almost joking like Roman Reigns. But his matches mean something when you see them. So, and he continues feuds. He does the work for them. So it's not like he just shows up for the match a couple times and that's it. But trust me, anytime he's on screen, you want to watch him. And then we got Papa Mafia. Beverly Hills, Jack Perry is the best thing going in AEW. Tommy, we might have to have you go to the doctor and check your eyes. I'm not sure if you're watching the same thing we're watching. Right?
I don't know if Papa Mafia has been he's been pre-gaming for the Bills. He's been like jumping through one too many tables. But Papa Mafia, I said go ahead and get that CTE checked in. So.
Oh gosh, yeah, because he's about that cut. It's like there we go. Oh my gosh, all I can think about is Cut Man from the Mega Man cartoon. He's like, let's go, it's cut. That's all I can think about.
So who we got next? What we got next up?
Okay, we got so let's do the Bullet Club Gold with Konosuke Takeshita versus the Golden Elite with Hangman Page. So right off the bat, I'll just tell you my ranking for that: 2.5. 2.5. I'll give it 2.5 as well. So you have the gold versus gold, golden lovers with Hangman Page versus Bullet Club Gold with Takeshita or whatever. So it's like this match. The problem with this match, with a few matches that are 6-man matches, 8-man, 10-man, or 5-on-5, or whatever, they get sloppy, and this really proved it. There were some weird sloppy spots in this match. Not
Most
that they were just running through it so quickly. And the problem was this match was just to set up Kenny Omega versus Takeshita. That was all this match was set up for. There was no other, like, Takeshita had some sweet theme music, not gonna lie. Well, music. That was pretty cool. The whole story with Don Callis, it works. But Bullet Club Gold is just there. Like right now, I'm happy that like Jay White's on TV and them, but it seems almost like a waste of Jay White. Like ever since he came on, when he just showed up to help out Juice, like it wasn't even like a surprise. It wasn't even like it just showed up. Like, well, so everyone else in this match didn't matter. It was really just Omega Takeshita. So you almost knew that the ending was going to be a dirty ending or dusty or something. It wasn't going to be clean, but Omega was going to lose to set up for that singles match. And so again, there were some good spots here and there, but we were kind of looking at while we're watching going, man, they're really just kind of some sloppy moves here. Like they're just, at one point, I don't know what the heck happened, but there was like 3 or 4 guys in the ring. I think it was either Ibushi or Takeshita or someone was in the ring, and they were getting up to do a move, and then they were just standing there. They were kind of like, and then like they didn't know what was going. I think they were looking for the other guy they were supposed to work with around the ring or something, and it just seemed too kind of discombobulated to me, at least. And unfortunately, every wrestling company has that problem. If you're not on point of your moves all the time, it can get a complete mess. If it's not like a Stadium Stampede or Anarchy match, like, you know what I'm saying? Like those are like, even them have a structure. Eddie Kingston goes to sleep for 10 minutes while the match goes on, comes back, power nap, let's go. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the match itself wasn't really memorable. I'm not gonna lie. You had a lot of Snapdragon suplexes. You had a lot of moves here and there. So, but this is all just precursor to setting up for All Out and Takeshita versus Omega. So 2.5 to me. I didn't want to give it 2 because there was some good stuff in this match, but 2.5. I wouldn't give it higher than that. If anybody gets higher than that, I'd be shocked, but not really, because
mine was 2 because it was sloppy. It was just a huge mess. Takeshita, I mean, I like the look. I like the wrestling. His music is god awful. I hate it. I was like, what the hell is this? This is terrible. And our buddy Chad Too Bad Dudley, he was like, oh man, this music is sweet. And I'm like, I'd say Chad Too Bad, if you watch it, need you check yourself a CTE as well, sir. We want you to be here, be with us. But yeah, overall, I mean, if it wasn't for Hangman Page, it wasn't for Takeshita and as far as Omega, like this could have been a Shockmaster match.
Yeah,
this match was it was a waste of everybody's time. And as far as the Jay White, I know hindsight is 2020. I feel like Jay White would have been better off just going to Impact. Like he could have been like the guy over there. Granted, some people feel like Impact is a step down, but listen, a major wrestling promotion is a major wrestling promotion. Yep. Between NWA, Impact, the Big E, and AEW. Because right now AEW, they're like the B team. I mean, shout out to Juice, because it's to the point where like you rather watch. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather watch Juice Robinson than Jay White.
It was pretty funny, right? Because he's in that character. He's in that very animated character, and way past his CJ Parker phase.
He kind of reminds me right now is like a updated version of Brian Kendrick. That's what I see. That's what I see when I see Juice.
All right,
that's the vibes I get.
I like it because I was always a Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick. But I liked him even before that, even like when he was like in Super 8 competition and stuff, and Spanky. Still thought that was hilarious, like how he could get over as Spanky, and then they're like, "You're gonna be Brian Kendrick," but then he went to that the Brian Kendrick. It gave you that real Brian Pillman vibes, right? Like the leather jacket. That's what's funny because like if Brian Pillman Jr. debuts, it's gonna be funny to see him. Gonna be like, man, you really remind me of Brian Kendrick. Like you're bigger, but you rule. It's crazy. So,
but Papa Khan, do something with Jay White because right now you kind of wasting him. Like Juice Robinson is more important than Jay White right now.
Yeah, we're gonna put the switchblade away. You can't play with sharp objects, TK. Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to move on.
No, we are. So next match we're gonna go over is the AEW Tag Team Championship. So FTR, current champions, versus the Young Bucks, of course, because they need to have another title match. So the one thing I have to point out before this match started. Young Bucks came out. They actually were not. I had predicted they were going to come out in some kind of Davey Boy Smith-esque outfit. They did not, but they did come out in a nice homage to Freddie Mercury, who obviously played at Wembley for the Live Aid show, which was really cool. But there's one thing to prove someone should stop doing their job. We finally figured that out now. Jim Ross, who, of course, legendary announcer, has done a great job in wrestling for his entire career. When they said that when the McGinnis and them said, "Oh, look, they're Freddie Mercury, they're dressed up like them," he goes, "Wait, is he here?" And then they had to cover for him and say, "Well, yeah, he's here in spirit. It's an homage." Like JR legitimately believed Freddie Mercury was still alive. That's a problem, guys.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about AEW. What they do so well is they love to pull on that nostalgia with certain characters, certain personalities. I've been saying this for the last. I've been saying this since the beginning of 2023. JR, go. Please step away from the booth and go be in charge of talent relations. Please and thank you.
That would be a perfect job for him. That would literally be a perfect job. So
he helped. He was the pioneer. He was the big, pioneer as far as recruiting for the Attitude Era. I'm sure lightning can strike twice again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. JR, please walk away from the booth. Signed, everybody.
Thank you. So we have this match here, and FTR, Young Bucks, and you knew it was going to be a pretty hot match, and honestly, it was. It was a very good match. Lots of false finishes. Pretty much, you saw lots of super kicks. You saw a lot of moves too. Because you got FTR, ground-based, old-school time tactics. Young Bucks, not at all. There are these guys. So
old school versus new school style wrestling.
Young Bucks, you're gonna get that. But lots of kickouts. Like at one point, I was for sure thought Young Bucks won. Right? They were the for sure one. But they both did each other's finishing maneuvers. Back it was a lot going on. But in the end, FTR was able to retain the titles, which again, that did surprise me. I really thought Young Bucks was going to take it. Match, I thought it was very good, especially since people kind of get burned out on Young Bucks. If you see Young Bucks so much, you'll get kind of burned out on it, right? And this kind of brought it back to me. Like, okay, all right, I'm back into it now. I like the Bucks. Let's see other. Personally, I would have wished this to be a triple threat match. Maybe another team could have been popped in there for it. But we'll get to that later. How that got kind of rectified. But this was but yeah, I liked it. And if I had to go with a score, we already got one there for you. I'm going to go with a 4-star actually for 4 headlocks. But because that match, it was really good. It was very entertaining. And again, like I said, some people might look at them being stale. This brought me back personally to watching Young Bucks in their matches. There were no exploding shoes. There was no staples on the shoes or anything like that. But and you know, it is what it is. But the homage was nice to look. All in all, it was a pretty good match. I will say something too. Unless you had anything else for this match.
Well, I think you pretty much hit all four corners.
What you did there. I see what you did there.
And this was my match of the night. Like the first two was definitely snooze fest. And I'm watching watching the Bucks FTR. It's got my attention. I'm like, let's go. But shout out to the Bucks for putting other teams over. And I looked at some of the guys in the room, and I told them, I said, listen, mark my words, this is gonna be the match of the night. This is the one.
Yep.
I was like, because if those first two matches was anything to come, I was like, we might be in for a rough ride.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, this old school style wrestling versus new school style wrestling. These two teams are probably around the same age. But it's like I said last week. You basically got old school traditional mat wrestling versus as I call it, ADD wrestling.
Yeah.
And I said what you want about the Bucks. These guys, they put the backstage politics. Put that in gorilla and focus on them just as performers. Bucks kill it every time. There's a reason why, they're the guys of the new generation. So yeah. I'm sorry you had to hear that, Cornette, but I'm sorry.
Cornette's like this. No, stop it.
Yeah, but with this match, I mean, yeah, these two guys did the damn thing. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I would have to say that too, and hopefully we see more of that where they're, we're going to see you guys wrestling more and pulling up other tag teams and making elevating more tag teams. Like right now, I know they're kind of heels or whatever, but like the Guns. Even though, you hate the Guns, but that's a good thing. They're doing such a good job. Getting over. Like, put them with the Bucks, man. Have them beat the Bucks. And like a dirty way or something. But then that's a big win for them. And they don't like the Bucks. They were like, oh, they're gonna try to win the tag team titles for the third time. Only team to win them 3 times. It's like, cool. They don't need to. They don't need to win the tag team titles. So, but honestly, we'll see.
I say, Doc, last thing for this, give us a rematch Sunday at All Out. Just have these two guys throw it out in the United Center one more time.
I'm liking that. I like that. And tomorrow we might find out about that on Dynamite. So we'll see. So
I feel like tomorrow's Dynamite is going to be like an 8-hour show packed into like 2 hours.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh, you're right, man. So before we get to the next match, which we're going to cover the Stadium Stampede match, because I've got like the results here, but what I always like to look at is the times of the matches. Here's what's crazy: the tag team match. What do we have before? Oh yeah, the 6-man tag match, this FTR match, and the Stadium Stampede match were all 20 minutes and 21 minutes each. So just put that in perspective. Like, they gave that Takeshita the 6-man match the same amount of time as the Stadium match and the FTR match. Like, so those 3 matches, there's an hour, or you know what I'm saying? That's an hour right there, and it's like that makes me more mad about the 6-man match. Like, that shouldn't have been 20 minutes if you're only going to give 20 minutes to FTR and Young Bucks, or the Stadium match. But that's just what I noticed right here.
Right.
But now going with the Stadium match, which of course on the Stadium match you had Stadium Stampede, Eddie Kingston. And it wasn't actually Lucha Brothers. It ended up changing since we wrote this. It was Penta, El Zero, El Miedo, and Best Friends, of course. And they were facing Blackpool Combat Club and Santana and Ortiz. So they had made that announcement the next day on Dynamite. So I'll tell you right now, this match, again, whenever you have a big Anarchy in the arena, multi-man hardcore matches, stuff like this, it's sometimes hard to rank them. To me, not at all. This match, I give it 3.5 headlocks. So
right.
for sure, because again, it's hard to like, again, when you're watching a match like this, to like, okay, let's see the storylines play out. But they did a good job of separating all the people to do their storylines. Like Eddie Kingston immediately ran out, didn't even care about his other teammates, and went after Claudio. Nice going back to Claudio. So they're fighting. They separate. Everyone else is separated. Then you have Moxley in there, immediately bleeds like 2 minutes into the match. 3 minutes into the match, gone, bleeding. Stuff like that. And it's like, okay. So then this match had so much kind of going on. For Santana and Ortiz, they were there. I know people missed them from LAX and stuff and whatever. And I remember seeing them years ago in LAX. And to me, I didn't really miss them. I didn't really miss them in the match, like watching it. But honestly, some of the spots here, we're going to have to talk about it. I just have to. The damn skewer spot. The skewer spot with Penta and Moxley. Moxley gets out these skewers, like what, about a foot long, sharpened in on them, and it's like a whole handful of them. And he's about to hit Penta. Penta takes them from him, and then he just drives them into Moxley's head. And then they're stuck there. And it looked like a peacock, like a little peacock. It was a gnarly spot. And I don't even know what to say. Like to it, I was like, "What the heck just happened?" But excuse me. Yeah, there was some other crazy spots there. There were some weird spots. At one point they would go up into the ring. Like some of those seats up in where Kingston was at, and Kingston looked like blown up. Like, I'm not gonna lie. At one point, I'm like, where'd he go? And I wouldn't have put it past him if he just went in the back and said, hold on, 5-minute power nap. All right, I'm back.
He definitely smoked a cigarette back there.
I would have died if he just walked out with the cigarette still in his mouth. I would have died.
I was like, this would have been a match of the night if he would have came out there like R-Truth with the cigarette in the arena. Oh yeah, let's go.
Right. So, and I'll tell you, some new things happen in this match that not used to. When you think hardcore, you don't think Jack Perry and Best Friends. You don't think that. But damn, if Orange Cassidy didn't go out of his wheelhouse, go into something different. He went against Moxley, and we all were kind of like, oh god. And Moxley just got the fork and started stabbing him with the fork, and he busted open. He was looking rough a few times in that match, but it was different. It was something different than, because how many times do people complain about pockets? Wait, Cornette, goddamn pockets. Cornette, sit down, calm down, Cornette. Yeah. But people complain about him because of his character. They don't like it. He's not a traditional wrestler. I don't want traditional. I want someone that's cool and different. And now they can't say he can't do a hardcore match because he went in there and got his ass whooped. Also,
and bled,
and did some that's in the gnarly spot near the end where he did the reverse duct tape on the hand, and then went into a glass. Now, whether or not that was real glass, I think it was a breakaway glass bottle because it seemed to break too easily when I heard it. But even then, he put the broken glass on the duct tape for his punch finisher. What's it called again? Orange Punch, something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Orange Punch.
Oh, okay. All right, I couldn't remember, but it was just cool because he already did several punches, then he got knocked out, and then that was kind of like the catalyst to help win the match, out of nowhere. But overall, you had some table spots in there. Oh yeah, remember with was it Santana or Ortiz when they messed up that spot going into the tables? Almost flipped off the top. Oh my gosh. This is a trend. They're moving too fast. They're getting sloppy. But
we can also talk about the spot with Penta. See, this is what baffles me sometimes. So not even him coming out as a different, as his alter ego, that part I didn't care about. But one thing that WWE does do right is with their what you want to call it, with their accessories, their equipment, the ladders. I didn't notice until now, AEW still uses like actual legit ladders, like the ladders that you buy from like Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yep.
What they need to do is Tony Khan need to get a hold of Nick Khan and ask him who's his ladder guy, because he needs a new ladder guy. There's no reason why Penta should have been climbing up that side of the ladder when it clearly tells you when you buy that ladder from Home Depot, do not climb up that side of the ladder. It is dangerous.
Yep.
There's no reason why they don't like. I feel like all wrestling promotions need to have a WWE style ladder where it stairs on both sides. They need to. Yep. Because that could have ended horribly for Penta yesterday. He could have like that could have been his ankle. That could have been, his foot. He seriously could have hurt himself yesterday.
Oh yeah, and it was crazy. It was such a weird spot because what he's basically talking about is that Penta, he got hurt in the match when he took a pile driver, I believe. I think he took a spike pile driver.
Yeah,
started shaking. They rolled him out of the ring. They really played up the fact that he was injured. Wouldn't show him. So I was like, and they took him away. I was like, okay. Well, then he came back, completely new outfit. He had a white, I believe now he had red, because he was Pentazul now. And then that's when the ladder spot happened after that and everything. So it's like, yeah, guys, you need to get those double-sided ladders because, one, you can use those ladders, for multiple different ways and then not have to mess up with oh, my God. It was weird. It was a weird spot all around, but yeah, it was just, there was a couple spots there. There was like going back to that, I believe it was Santana, and I can't remember who he slammed. Like it was either Moxley or somebody. Put him to the outside. You could see him go. He was like, "Got it, bro!" Like he was all, "God, we got it!" Like he was just like, we didn't kill each other by falling off the top rope or something. All right, we do have a chat here. We got Christopher Roseborough. We got a yeah. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for tuning in.
Welcome back, Chris.
All right, but like I said, kind of like I don't really have too much more about this match, but I am happy that I'm happy it ended in the middle of the ring, honestly, because I know this technically could have ended anywhere. But when you have a show like this, it's a massive show. There's monitors to show everything. It's hard to show it when you're not in the ring. So I thought it was a good choice to bring it back in the ring and win it there. So
last 2 points on this match. One, what they need to start doing in the future with the Stadium Stampedes, they need to set up like at least, I wouldn't even say set up 4 cameras because that's way too much, but give us 2 cameras, just 2. You have a backstage cam and then arena cam.
Yeah,
those 2 is perfectly fine. And how funny and it's funny that you mentioned you let it end in the ring. How funny it would have been if this match ended in like catering.
You're right. Now that would be cool. Like I loved when anytime a match happens when they're like interacting with the stuff like that, hot dog cart, or like catering, or like where they're selling beer and stuff. Like, what if Eddie Kingston went and got a beer, like just from the beer, like while he was just waiting for the guy to get back up, and like, come on, let's go, let's go, Come, those spots would be so funny, man. So I'm with you. A dual camera system needed to happen for sure. And I know that they did have the secondary camera showing it, but I feel like, it would have heightened the whole situation for it. But any place to have a Stadium Stampede match would be here at Wembley. Would be there. So, so I'm happy. So yeah, I was entertained. I was entertained for it. Now moving on to the match that was definitely. I hate saying it's a bathroom break match, but it kind of was based off of print. But you had the Fatal 4-Way match for the women's championship.
Oh, that wasn't a bathroom break match. I can tell you what the bathroom break match was.
Yeah. No, and I'm not saying it was a boring match or anything. I'm just saying in the overall scheme, like, you kind of like, because I was excited to see like Britt Baker back doing her thing. Saraya, I was always a Paige fan back in WWE in times, and Sheeta looking good, and then Toni Storm kind of doing her own thing now. And everything's kind of all over the place. How I felt like now, outcasts are not a thing now. Apparently, Ruby Soho comes down the ring. Toni Storm's got her all new bombshell, like I'm psycho gimmick because I've lost and I don't know what's going on. She still looks damn good. Everyone looked good in this match. That's what I'm saying. So
even Saraya looked good. She didn't look terrible.
No, she didn't look terrible, and that's because every time we see her, we're like this, like taking. Oh God!
And it's not even because of her neck issues. I'm just like, oh my God! I'm just ready for her to just botch something.
Right. So this match again was, and that's why they only gave him 9 minutes for this match. It was very quick, and they had the controversy of it, right? So at the end of before that, you had Ruby Soho coming out because you knew there was going to be the tension with Toni Storm, Saraya, and then of course Toni Storm then said, "No, get out of here." So now they basically are broke up. I mean, Saraya sprayed her in the face and all that stuff. So I don't see them being back together. Or it'd be even funnier if Toni Storm comes on tomorrow and acts like nothing happened. If she truly is in this weird, like maybe dual personality or psycho gimmick, it would be even funnier if she acted like nothing happened. Like she's like, Saraya, let's go. Ruby, what's up? And they're like, what are they doing? It's like, well, you know what? We didn't get we got the belt. We're outcasts. Let's go. And they'd be like, what? It would I think that would almost be funnier storyline wise, but right. What happens on that? Britt Baker, I'm glad that they're getting her back in there. They gave
Finally.
her yeah, right. I've been saying that for so long. She's great. She's better as a heel. They gave her some good spots of her attempting her submission holds and stuff. But of course they had the controversy ending. Britt Baker's got Sheeta in her submission hold while Saraya ends up pinning Toni Storm. So Saraya then win, but they never actually came out and said that unless I missed something, I didn't hear them say that Sheeta tapped out. Did they say Sheeta also tapped out?
No, they didn't.
They didn't. Okay, because I didn't know if they were going to try to be like, oh, did she tap out too? And that was, but I can only go with what I saw on one of those type of things. But
yeah, because remember, had what's the name tapped out, they probably just would have like either said draw or they would just reset the match for like 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
So at that point, yeah, they just said Saraya, yeah, good job. Mm-hmm. They basically was like, yeah, let's say you finally got your WrestleMania moment. You got it in front of your parents. Okay, get ready to lose that belt next Sunday.
Pretty much. It was cool though, because her whole family, like Sauce mentioned, her whole family came out. She's from England. Her mom's there, who's a former wrestler herself, and they had spots there with Toni Storm.
Wait. Former wrestler. I thought she was still wrestling. I thought she was still wrestling.
I forgot. She does still wrestle. Thank you, Sauce.
Shout out to Saraya's mom. I can't remember. Actually, I gotta look up her mom's wrestler name. Now you go ahead, Doc.
Actually, I got that for you right here. Hold on. I'll get you that right here. Yep, Sweet Saraya. That is her name. Ring name is Sweet Saraya or Saraya Knight. She wrestled under. And she is debuted 1990. She debuted.
To give y'all some context, I was born in 83, so I was like 7 years old when she was wrestling. So she's been wrestling for 33 years.
Right. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy about that. But so it looks like, yeah, she still wrestles. She does some things, but there hasn't been much since 2020. But still, it's pretty crazy. But there was a cool, funny spot there with the front row with Toni. I think Toni Storm accidentally hit her, and then it looked like they had to stop, like, make sure that if they didn't hold off to her, she was going to get over that barricade, and she was fighting somebody. So it was cool to see that.
All in all, like, as much as I don't care for Saraya, hey. But as much as I really don't care to see Saraya ever get back in the ring, it was a cool moment for her. She finally got it. Now, please get the belt off of her and give it to somebody else, please.
I agree. I would have to agree with you on that, Sauce, for sure. So, moving forward, we do have...
real quick. What's your ready for this match, Doc?
So unfortunately, it's just a two headlock. That's all I can give it. I mean, if the match was more cohesive, a little longer, I did like the storylines showing up. Britt Baker doing some more stuff. The whole breaking up of the Outcasts, and just seeing these women work, and seeing Saraya do some work and look pretty good. So yeah. And you gave it look, and you got 3 headlocks. I like it. There, all those. Look at all those headlocks. So, moving on, we do have the match that I almost forgot was still on this card when we were watching the show. We were like, "Oh crap, this is still on here too." This match, and it's Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage, because AR Fox had visa issues. I mean, he got hurt and he couldn't wrestle. So Christian Cage, for some reason, took his spot in the match. I guess he wanted to be in another, casket match after his one with Jack Perry. Yep. So this match again is just a testament about Sting, the 64-year-old Sting, and how much he cut a great promo in the promo video. They spent the money. Oh yeah. Just a little fact too, TK spent the money on all these theme musics. He did. I mean, he bought from Metallica, Sting's old WCW theme music. I mean, it was crazy how many theme musics he spent. He spent to get the rights for it. I mean, I know they're all one-time shots here. I get it, but that's still a lot of money. You're talking about. I mean, probably 6 figures at least. Right? I'd say.
I guess the cool thing about it is, he spent a lot of money, but these moments that we got to experience as fans yesterday, that those moments were priceless. So,
oh yeah, for sure. Sting kind of had a promo with his old Joker Sting from Impact Wrestling, which was a decisive Sting, so to speak. Some people really liked it, some people didn't, but it was cool.
Oh, yeah, I did. I definitely did. I mean, it was, the only parts of Joker Sting I enjoyed was when he was like berating Hogan, but that was about
it. That's it. Well, I think everyone likes that, right? When everyone berates Hogan, he felt like he was back in WCW days. Like, yes, go. But so you have this match where we were very confused last week too when we were talking about it, because a casket match, obviously, you get in the casket, close the door completely, you win the match. Well, this was a tag match, so we're like, is it like a big casket? And like both people get, like, they used to remember like the Yokozuna casket back in the day. Like, was it gonna be like that big and you had to put 2 guys in it? Was it? So then they made a point to say only one person from each team has to be in the casket and closed. I'm like, oh, all right. Well then that's weird. So it's still weird to have a tag match, but whatever, The match. I mean, if you've watched any kind of Darby Allin Sting match against anybody, this pretty much was the same, to me at least. Christian Swerve is great. Swerve is underutilized, and it makes me upset thinking about it. But what do you think, Sauce?
Oh, I didn't care about none of this match. Like, yes, the opening vignette was cool, Jack the Ripper or whatnot. Oh, but once the match started, I could really care less. I mean, shout out to Sting for like damn near killing himself like 3 times in the match. And shout out to Darby for destroying his back like 3 times.
Oh my gosh, when he did that coffin drop on that coffin, because guys, it was, if you look it up, it was basically like a real, that one they put together. It was like a coffin or casket, whatever.
But I mean, and then as far as Swerve Strickland goes, I don't care about Swerve when the company he works for cares about him as far as booking wise. Until then, I'm like, I guess he's cool that he shows up, but other than that, I don't care. Right now, until they book Swerve Strickland Becker, I can care about his well-being there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And so as far as this match goes, I mean, it was this close to being booty cheeks, but only 2 headlocks.
All right. You know what? Here's the reason why I have to give it only. I'm giving it booty cheeks.
Hey!
Here's why I have to do that. That match was 16 minutes long, So you look at a match like this, switch that with the women's match and give them the time for it, or give it to any other match except for the 6-way, the 6-man tag match, not that one. But give it to anybody else, and it would have been worth it. They didn't need 16 minutes to tell that story. So and then I will say 2 things that were funny, right? Because we were laughing the whole time with it. Sting came out earlier in the match with a cricket bat, right? Because he's always had the bat. So that was kind of funny. Like, it's a black cricket bat. That was cool. So then he gets a regular bat later in the match. And there was a spot where Swerve beats up Sting, grabs the bat, spits on the bat, throws it in there, closes it, but the camera like pans away. And then you see the bat is the only thing wedged into to stop it from closing. So we're all like, yeah, cool. Because, that's how you win. So then everything happens. Swerve gets beat up because Christian's not taking the bumps. He's like, I'm out. Swerve takes the coffin drop in the coffin, which was kind of a cool spot. So when they closed the coffin, Swerve's like dreads were still out of the coffin. But then they call the match, which I understand why they called it, because it was supposed to be the end. But we're all laughing like that. No, wait a minute. His dreads are like, they're still outside the. If the bat counts, why does his dreads not count? That's his body. Yeah, they weren't going to reverse that. No, they didn't care, So that was just a funny spot. We're all like, wait a minute. It was literally that Leo DiCaprio's like meme, it's like, what? No. So yeah, like I said, the match, it just didn't really. It could have been taken off the card completely, but they had to have Sting. They had to have Sting. That's what they wanted, was the Stinger, aspect there. That match could have easily been an All Out. Tell me, am I wrong? Like,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, but again, very odd. But so moving forward, we do have the match that also deserved a little more time, but we get what we get. Is we got the Will Ospreay match versus the Ocho, Chris Jericho. And just a regular singles match, not for the IWGP United States / United Kingdom title. So at that point, you had some feelings on that. I personally did, Again, we talked about Ospreay earlier. And then before we get into that, we do have CBM. This would have been perfect to reintroduce the White Castle of Fear into the storyline. Oh God. Oh no. Oh God. Yep. That's goodbye, folks. Now that we've got this brought up now. I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna leave that there. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't need to be reminded, but so we're going to talk about. But like I said, we talked about Will Ospreay a little earlier. Excuse me. Sorry, let's fix it. And Guy's great. Guy's a great wrestler. Great, and Jericho. We can't say enough about this guy. It's just now you're talking about 2 completely different eras. Like, Jericho did look pretty good in the match. He didn't look sluggish like I was worried, but he still just can't be up on the same level as Ospreay. It's just, he can't. Your body, unless you get in a time machine and you literally pull your old self back through the portal to wrestle him, you can't get in the shape to face him now. It's not possible. But they gave us 15 minutes of a match that was pretty good. Jericho gave the rub to Ospreay. Let him take the. He took all the finishers from him. Man, he did. But he gave Ospreay some moves too. Like, he had him with so many code breakers, it was crazy. Code breaker. And then at one point, he had the backstabber, and we were talking to our friend that who came to watch the show. And he's like, "Oh, it's a code breaker." I'm like, "No, it's a backstabber." No, it's a reverse code breaker. I'm like, backstabber. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like Carlitos when he used to do a backstabber, like the same thing. Like, it was just funny. Like, that's the funny thing. Our good banter and little moments we have in wrestling and our show.
Doc, you pretty much hit all the nails. You pretty much hit everything. As far as I thought, this was a pretty solid match. I mean, obviously nobody was really hyped about this match, but if I can go back and rebook this, what 2 people I will swap matches with on the card?
What's that?
I will have Chris Jericho or Christian Cage fight Darby Allin and Sting. because I feel like the Christian 8 Cage and Chris Jericho could have made that casket match more entertaining, just because of goofy antics, of Chris Jericho not taking him so seriously. And then I would have had Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. If you want Swerve Strickland, ladies and gentlemen, if you want Swerve Strickland, if you want to show, if Tony Khan wanted to show, to the world how sweet, how nice Swerve could be, you put him in with Ospreay, and I guarantee you, Doc, that would have been a match of the night. That would have elevated the Swerve Strickland from the bottom of the card to probably the middle of the card to mid card, as far as like how Tony Khan sees it right now. But I'm telling you,
that's a great idea. Great idea. Oh my god!
Switch, like I said, switch those guys on that card, and I'm telling you, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay. Like I'm getting goosebumps right now just like talking about it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and they can't sit there and say that he wouldn't deserve it because you gave Orange Cassidy a match against Will Ospreay. So again, we talked about how that match ended up kind of stealing the show, but that and reinforces the fact that Swerve Strickland would deserve a spot to fight him. So that's great booking, TK. Don't be a coward. You're a coward. I know. You're Miko. You're like this at the scrums.
You coward.
Your bug eyes like this. He's like this. Can I have some more, please?
Let's say Papa Khan sitting there watching. He's like, I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that. I say with his Adderall eyes.
They are definitely Adderall eyes. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But that's great booking. Honestly, that would have worked way better storyline wise, And I'm not like before we move on here with our ratings. Have we had Christian and Jericho have any type of thing in AEW?
I don't think so. That's my knowledge. Because ever since Christian has stepped with AEW, he has been beefing with Jack Perry for that's the only person he knows how to have a match with or beef with.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I don't know because
I don't think Christian has had any feud or interaction with anybody else except Mr. Jacqueline Perry since he's been here. So yeah.
Let's say hopefully now that granted, who did he beat for the I should say who did Luchasaurus beat for the TNT belt?
Wardlow?
Okay, so so Jack Perry Wardlow, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Because and Christian was out for a while with that shoulder injury. I know that. Even then, so to me, that'd be a great feud because obviously these guys worked well together before, come on. It seems like it's already written for you to have this happen. So maybe down the road we'll see. We'll see what happens on that.
Right.
But as for this match, score-wise, I'd give it 3.5. I'd give it 3.5 because, especially the storytelling of it, especially near the end, Jericho takes the Stormbreaker, kicks out, lays down, about to take the hidden blade, but then he gets up and he starts yelling at him like, "You're not hitting me in the face or in the back of the head. You gotta watch me. You gotta look at me. Look at me." And then, of course, he hits him with the hidden blade. Well, not so hidden blade, right in the face. Destroyed him, right? And then Stormbreaker, game over. So,
right.
So, storytelling wise, I like that matches. Sometimes you have to have a good story, and they did. But again, only giving them 15 minutes, so that tells you something there too. But they didn't need too much more. There wasn't Jericho is not going to win the U.S. title from him. He's going to move on to bigger things. Jericho, though, in the match, it was always the Sammy Guevara thing. They're finally starting to push that, right? Before we move on about that, Sammy Guevara was trying to help, didn't want the help, or he tried to help him, and it didn't work. And at the end, he refused his help to get out of the ring. So now are they finally going to do Sammy Guevara leaving the JAS,
At this point, Sammy Guevara needs to just leave AEW and just go to a different promotion. Because right now, he just
he's just there, stagnant. Just like they can't push him as a babyface, they can't push him as a heel. Like people like him, but they don't really love him.
Yeah.
He's just there.
I
He's
remember-
almost like he's almost like a Spanish Dolph Ziggler at this point.
There you go.
He's just there to put on matches and then you don't care about him T-minus 2 minutes after.
Yeah. He was in the Performance Center. He was there for a little while. Before he let go. There's some video of him for it too. It's kind of funny if you look it up with him.
Yeah, he actually had a conversation with Vince McMahon. Like he went to his office. He went straight to his office. He said, I'm here. I want to make you some money. And Vince was like, all right, you're gonna make me some money. All right, well, let's see. Hey, let me see what you got. And of course, he never got that chance. But
no, but that takes some balls right there, right? To go to the boss and say that, like, God damn, I like this kid. He's got some big balls like me, or he'd say some shit like that,
He's got some grapefruits.
Grapefruit, please. Oh God. But the other little small thing too, the Sammy Guevara was wearing his vest that still had the inner circle on it too, like the little match, which I thought was kind of cool seeing that. So, because we were talking about like factions and how AEW has 400,000 factions, and like we brought up the inner circle. So, so moving on, this match right here was added. Thank God, because we were worried about it last week, and the Acclaimed win the Trios Championship over the House of Black and House of Black Rules match. So, again, last week we were very hot about it. I was personally hot about it, but I'm happy it was rectified, and that match ended up being added to the card. Because, come on, the Acclaimed they're over. They're so over, and House of Black's great. They came out great. Looking awesome with new white attire, which proves my point. Almost all the time you wear white, you lose. Almost all the time. Like it's not guaranteed.
Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25.
Oh my God! Right?
Booker T at WrestleMania 19.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, that was the one too. Well, okay, we're not going to talk. That's a whole nother can of worms right there.
Yeah. I'm just bringing it up.
Oh no, you're right. Wait, what about Seth Rollins? Oh no, he wore white against Sting, but he won because of the injury. Because he had to win there. So, but anyways, so the match, House of Black come out. They did a nice tribute for Bray Wyatt, and yes, it is extremely, it's very disheartening what happened. I'm still in disbelief. We will be talking about having a nice episode speaking about the passings of Bray Wyatt, Terry Funk, and probably have other things we'll talk about too. I think we talked about we're going to do that probably not next week, the week after, Sauce.
Okay.
I think that's what we talked about. So that's what we're going to have, kind of an episode where we're going to talk about, basically like matches, memory, and stuff like that. But so they had a nice tribute there with the lantern. And then the match itself, I mean, you watch these guys, like House of Black is just money. Like, Brody King, this guy, he's a big guy. I don't want to get beat up by this guy. This guy's going to destroy you. So, right, this guy just looks at you and you're thrown across the ring. And, Malachi Black, with it, he's great. Buddy Murphy, just pound for pound. This guy is just, awesome. Even Julia Hart got in there too with Billy Gunn. That was kind of fun because she doesn't really get in the ring per se to do a lot of spots here, but they did this off the top rope scissor me spot, which I'm just like rolling, like, oh my God. It was funny too if you look in the match. Aubrey, who was a host, she was the referee. She's all trying to like get her out of the ring, but like continue refereeing. She's like, "You okay? Okay, you gotta go, gotta get out of the ring, roll." I got a match to do there. You're in the middle of the ring. So, as for the match itself, Acclaimed. There's some money. Like, what do you think, Sauce? I mean,
yeah, actually, like I did. As far as the match itself, I dug it. I like the House of Black, the all white. It was something different. It's kind of out of their character zone, but they made it work. I mean, with those guys. The charisma they got, when you believe in your character, you make anything happen.
Yeah.
But overall, shout out to the Acclaim. They're now as far as being trios champs, and they got the scissor in London, which I'm sure Tony Khan had to pay a nice little fine for.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, what's happening? Oh God, what's moving? What's moving? Because we are the Acclaim.
Overall, I mean, overall, it was a solid match. Like anytime I get to see, Brody King on the screen, hey, listen, I'm a happy man.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So they looked good in the match. Everyone, and then now, like I said, we have new trios champions. So, and they deserve it, Acclaimed after losing the tag team titles. They kind of were put into purgatory slightly, a little bit, not completely, but it was a little disheartening. But now they got these titles, so let's see how much they're defended, because they can hold on to them for a bit.
Actually, I would say with the Acclaim, because at least Tony Khan, like he's not a complete idiot. Like even after the Acclaim, they lost their belts, they still was on TV almost like every week doing something. So
yeah,
they didn't sit in catering, unlike Swerve and Our Glory after they broke up. But that's a whole nother rant. But,
right. Oh yeah, no, they'll throw them out there. Even the one AEW show we went to here in Detroit, they came out on the Rampage taping, and they just did a rap, and then they left. That was it. Like they didn't have a match. They just so that tells you something. They want you on TV, even though you're not wrestling. So that's always good news. But as for the match, I'd say I'd give it a 3. I'd give it a 3 for sure on that. Yeah, 3 headlocks. It was pretty decent. I was entertained.
All right.
So, excuse me. So now we move on to the main event. The big one. Right there. So we have the AEW World Championship, MJF champion versus Adam Cole. Baby! So, and obviously, unless you've not been watching any AEW at all, they've had this great kind of feud / friendship storyline they've been working with ever since they had their Iron Man match, or not Iron Man, their 1 hour match they had, I should say, on Dynamite, right? So it's what do you think, man? I'm about the whole thing in general.
Listen, the sexual tension between these two is just you could just even Stevie Wonder can just see it. Okay.
Oh my God.
But with that being said, hey, shout out, listen, these two guys made, once again, it goes back to that, two people that hate each other, put them in a tag team. It's usually as long as the two people got charisma, it's hard for it to fail.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
And as far as the match itself, I thought the match itself I thought was all right. There was some nice little cool, spots, especially, the suplex on the stairs. And how MJF, he does such an amazing job, selling for his opponent, putting his opponent over. And then, at the end, as far as the tension between the two again, as far as MJF retaining and Adam Cole being super salty. I'm curious to see, once again, these guys, as far as character storyline wise, these guys did the job, because it makes you invested to see what's going to happen Wednesday. It makes you invested to see what's going to happen. You have to pay another $40 in 8 days to see what these two do on pay-per-view. And but the match itself was 2.5. I thought it was an all right match. It was nowhere near, the clinic they put on the first time. I think when we was watching this match, it was like we were all everybody as a viewer, we were all just trying to rate. We were all just racing to get to the end of the finish line and not really paying attention to the race. We just all want to get to the finish line.
Pretty much. I mean, that's a good way to put it. There were some funny spots here and there. They emulated the whole Eddie Guerrero faking the chair shot, where they kept throwing the chair back and forth, and then they did that kind of spot. And then you're right. You got to the end of the match, and then you have the double pin, which was, we all lost our minds because it was between two of our guys One had Adam Cole, one had MJF, and once it was a double pin, we're like, what? That's a draw. So, of course, you got the 5 more minutes thing, which, oh no, we're going to keep doing this until it's over. It's like, okay, all right, let's see what happens. Shades of Jerry Lynn and RVD back in ECW for the television title. What a great match. If there's any match you should watch, that one right there. Went sudden death. Jerry Lynn asked for 5 more minutes, and yeah. So it was seeing the match. Oh yeah, and seeing that fan that got in the ring. Oh, I mean Roderick Strong, because that's basically what it looked like to me. He just looked like just some rando fan. Hey guys, I got my neck brace. What's up? Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, it was all annoying. Then of course, just you want this belt? Take this effing belt. I don't want it. Because mind you, we didn't go over this, but they were on the pre-show and they ended up winning the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship from Aussie Open. So he's like, but we have these belts, man. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Because I know people right now, there's a group of people that like this storyline. But there's a lot of other people that don't like what's happened to MJF because they loved MJF's non-apologetic, heel attitude and heel heat. Here, it's like, we're not getting that. You just wait and see. I still think it will happen. I think it's, to a point or whatnot. But it does show growth for a wrestler. If you're good at one thing this whole time, it's good to be able to try to do something different, but not radically different. To me, it's not that different. He's still an asshole. He still comes out to his devil chair and his theme music and his mask. Like, this guy's humble. Such a humble guy, right?
Right.
So, for me, the match, I still liked it. They went, believe it or not, half hour. They went a half hour. So on this one, so I give this match. I give it 4. I give it a 4 headlock. 4 headlock out of 5, only because the storytelling, right? The storytelling really is what to me sold it. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good for that, and then I was all about it. And as for the show itself, because it looks like we got that here. I'd say for the show itself, I'd give it a 3.5. A 3.5 out. Yep. Like I said, the coffin match didn't even need to be on there, or your idea would have worked good too. Certain matches, the 6-man tag match shouldn't have even been on there. That felt like it was more so giving Jay White some work, right, and Ibushi some work, because you could have had Takeshita versus Omega on that match, but since you had All Out a week later, instead of delaying the show, you had to make sure these matches were available for your next one. So, very frustrating when there's 2 shows a week apart, because then it's like, what talent can go? What's going to wrestle here? What's going to wrestle here, and so forth. So it's crazy. But I thought it was a pretty good show, and they already confirmed before the show ended that they will be back at Wembley next year. Around the same time. So to me, knowing that, it is inexcusable if they're going to continue to do All Out the week after, which it would be. You know what I mean? So I really hope, here's my fist, I really hope they don't, but I don't know.
All Tony Khan has to do is just push All Out to Halloween weekend. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
All you got to do.
Yep.
But hey, that's why we're here, and he's up there, I guess. I don't know.
Apparently. Oh my gosh. So that's All In. All In, like I said, pretty good show. Again, it was a nooner. So that was when the show was over, it was still late. It was like, for a show, it was like 5:00, and we're like, it's 5:00. All right, let's go. After drinking a few brewskis, I felt, it's like, okay, let's go take a nap now.
Yeah, we all went home pretty much napped.
But so we do have. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go through the what we have so far for the Payback show, which basically is this. So this weekend's crazy. You have Saturday the 2nd is Payback, WWE Payback, and then Sunday is the All Out show. Now the All Out show has a couple matches added there, but I know they're going to add a lot more tomorrow on Dynamite and possibly Rampage, Collision, whatever. So we're not, unless I don't feel like we need to really go over that because we'll cover it all next week. But Payback, I did want to go over because it looks like this should be our final card here to me. So, so basically with this match, you do have the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins, Nakamura. Just two things on this. There's been reports that Seth Rollins is working through some back injuries for either months or a year. I think this would be a perfect time to pull the trigger and give Nakamura the title. I personally think. Now, whether it would happen or not, but I would love to see Nakamura win. Personally.
I think at this point we all do. And
I like Rollins. I do, but if he really wants some time off, I mean, this would be perfect for him to do that.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. Both guys are great. I mean, Seth Rollins, he's had this belt since. I guess you want to. Well, it's the end of May, so I'm gonna just say June, July, and pretty much all of August. So he's had this inaugural belt for 3 months now. So,
yep,
which is a pretty decent run. I mean, he's got a nice little deck of wrestlers he's already had to defend against. So it's not like he just had the belt once and then all of a sudden, it's just like
never defends it. Yeah. What's crazy is I know that because my brother, his favorite wrestler, Tyrus, he just lost the NWA Heavyweight Championship, World Heavyweight Championship to EC3 at NWA's show on Sunday as well. And it was funny because he won that world title from, I believe, Trevor Murdoch, and he never defended it once. He never even had one match after that, not one time. And I'm telling you, if you want to laugh, just look up some clips from that match. It's horrendous. Sauce, have you seen the clips from that match yet?
Not yet. I plan on this week.
I'm telling you, they're so bad. At one point, Tyrus was so tired, he was on the mat. EC3 went and got a chair and sat it in the ring and waited for Tyrus to get back up because he was so tired. He couldn't get up. I mean, I can't even make this up. So,
this man would have never allowed that. Say what you want.
At least he moved when he was, the Funkasaurus baby. He moved and somebody call my mom. So, anyways, like I said, I want Nakamura to win. I'll say Nakamura, personally, for him to win.
All right.
Because they've had a good storyline, and he's they got him in storylines right now. So we'll see. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, they're going to have the whole thing with Damian Priest. Is he going to try to interfere? Stuff like that with Money in the Bank? Maybe not. But yeah. So we have Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Match finally happening. Rhea Ripley is a kind of a weird enigma right now, right? We all know she's great at everything she does, the heel work, the wrestling, but ever since she won the world title, she hasn't had any kind of momentum in a feud, right? She just destroys everyone, and then that's it. So
if she's not destroying the other women on the roster, then she's trying her best to keep Judgment Day together from breaking apart. That's basically all she's been doing.
So that right there kind of makes it like okay, so she's champ, but she doesn't need it because she's so good. I like Raquel Rodriguez. I still, until she's a full, it's hard to say heel at this point. She can't really be a heel against her, but not smiley, just not happy Raquel. And a few of these promos, she has been beating her up. So I'm happy to see that. But yeah, Rhea's still going to win this match. The only way Rhea doesn't win this match is if there's some kind of interference from somebody, maybe a returning Liv Morgan. Maybe she comes back from injury.
Or Dom does something ridiculously stupid.
Ooh. That could be dissension. Because that would be the final dissension there. If Dom tried to come down to help her, and she's like, Dom, what are you doing? I don't need your help. And he's like, Mommy, I'm coming. Mommy, come on. I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking about like Italian now.
Right.
But yeah, you could see Raquel them winning something like that. I like that. See, that could work. Now we're going to the absolute bathroom break match, which I'm just okay.
It's okay. Let it out. Just let it out.
Yeah, so we have Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, this match that was supposed to happen at SummerSlam. They got canceled for making sure that Ronda Rousey got to be on the card. Yeah. So this match got upgraded to a cage match because, of course, it did. And finally this feud will be over.
Thank God.
And, well, here's the thing. I don't know if you saw some of the news. Apparently, after this feud's over, Becky Lynch is going down to NXT to work with Tiffany Stratton, the world champion down there. Now, it's hard to say now because how many other wrestlers have went down there, came back up, and been fine, had matches there. Like even Rhea Ripley last week had a match down in NXT, like a brief match or something. Or like recently she had one, So it's like, but if I'm Becky Lynch, I'm pissed, right? I'm mad. I mean, hell, Triple H said, to her personally, like after her match got canceled, like, well, we got to take lemons and make lemonade. She shows up on Raw with a shirt with a big lemon, with a lemonade drink, and then she drank it and spit it out like Triple H does. So that, what I mean, like she might be a little bitter at that point, like lemonade.
She has every right to be.
And yeah, so I'd like to say, yeah, Becky Lynch has to win the feud.
Okay.
Oh, she has to win because Trish will be done now. Trish isn't staying on here. This, to me, she was here, had a couple matches. I thought for sure she'd turn heel at WrestleMania, but she didn't. She waited like just a month or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the way I feel about this match is is like the Black Widow movie, just too little, too late.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. This match would have been, a few, 2 or 3 years ago? This match would have been, I've been like, oh, okay.
Oh, if you would have just had this match at SummerSlam, we all would have been fine.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I just feel like the Black Widow movie, like, it's a nice effort, but it's too little, too late. No one really cares.
Yeah. So then we have, looks like, the United States Championship. We have Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. Couple things, just based off the storyline I've seen. They're trying to create this whole dissension thing with Santos Escobar, where he had that shot and then he got injured, or he got beat up. So when Rey took his spot, told him to take his spot, he wins the belt. So they're trying to set up dissension there. Whether or not that actually happens, it's weird to me. Is Austin Theory going to win the belt back? I don't know. I'm on the fence on this. Rey doesn't need the belt. Austin Theory needs it more, but when he had it, they weren't utilizing him, right? So
listen. Rey is walking out as champion.
Walking
in the match that neither one of us, nobody in America cares about.
Right, and that's sad to say it because I would have rather had Santos Escobar from LWO have that title, or LA Knight, or The Miz at that point. So. But yeah, you're right. Rey's walking out, still champion. So next match, of course, we have The Miz versus what we got? We got Miss LA Knight. Yeah. So this match already.
Yeah.
I like it. This match has already got such a the feud has already been great. Like the promos have been fire back and forth. Miz had a great promo last night on Raw. It was and impersonating LA Knight, and it's going to be a good match. And Miz is going to do the job. He's going to make Knight look good, even better there. And it's just like I said, it's going to be in a sense it looks like a straightforward match, but it's only going to push LA Knight further and make him just that much more, give him more of that notoriety. And hopefully it pushes into a title picture. Like I could easily see him in that U.S. title picture for sure, So So that'd be nice. That'd be cool to see. What I am disappointed about on this card, before we get to the last match here, is that originally it was supposed to be Gunther versus Chad Gable at this pay-per-view, but they ended up doing that at the Raw last week, and it was a good match. Very good match, actually. Like, it really showcases Chad Gable and his ability and how much they're pushing him now, his raw strength. But it's like, but why couldn't you just have it at the Payback show? It doesn't make any sense. Like, to me, I would have rather seen them there get pushed. So it didn't seem right to me. But because right now, again, if I remember correctly, I don't have the calculator here, but Gunther has until September 8th or 15th. It was like one of those that once he beats that, he'll beat Honky Tonk Man's record. So, and he will. Chris, my brother, he joked and said, "What if Honky Tonk Man comes out with the guitar on that last day, and then he hits him with the guitar, and he loses?" I said, "You know what? If this was AEW, that would have happened. I can guarantee it." He came in like, "Honky Tonk Man, come on, I'll pay you for this one appearance," and then be like against Jeff Jarrett, battle the guitars. Then that's when I turn it off and I say, "No more AEW for a while, guys. No more."
This will be a WWE Impact and any other wrestling show. We won't be doing AEW.
I will cover old episodes of Wrestling Society X and Lucha Underground. At that point, are you kidding me? But anyway, so we move on to the main. Well, I say main event, but the last match on the card, because if that World Heavyweight Title match is not the main event, we're gonna have a problem. All right, because don't get me wrong, I like my Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, but that can't be the main event. It has to be the World Title.
It's got to be.
My hands are like I'm pointing like a lot, but I'm just like that has to happen. So the tag team titles, obviously, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Judgment Day, and I see you got Judgment Day. I feel like that needs to happen, unless this
it's got to.
Yeah, because they're already like downgrading Finn Balor, having him basically lose every single time right now to anybody. Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank, So is this match, when it says Judgment Day, did we see who it is? Is it Dom Dom and Priest?
It's Priest and Balor. That's what they're saying.
Oh, it's Priest and Balor. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, to me, it makes sense because if you want to have all the people have titles, that'd be cool, And right now, also what needs to happen, and this would be a perfect time to do it, is they need to just make the belts. If you're going to split the belts back up to go on, like what they did back in the original brand split, WWE Tag Team Title, right. World Heavyweight, World Tag Team Title, not Raw, not SmackDown. It's like what they're doing now. It's not a brand, but two separate belts. Then it has to happen now. Because I'm getting sick of seeing you carry around 4 belts all the time now, and it's like there's plenty of tag teams on both shows that could, now that the tag team division is more beefed up, that could get them. Like, imagine Imperium, they could be tag team champions, but then Street Profits could be tag team champions in their heel group with Bobby Lashley. They could be the other tag team champion. Or Viking Raiders could deserve a shot at those because they've been pushed a lot past few months. So they need to have that. That has to happen sooner than later. This would be a perfect time to do it. Judgment Day wins. They have all the championships because Dom, I believe, still is the North American champion, right? So, which I find funny too. Dom is North American champion. Ray is United States champion. So Dom's like, I'm champion of more countries, Dad. So you're only United States, Dad. You're not even Mexico or Canada. I mean, it's crazy. I'm just like, oh God, the memes just make it laugh. So I'm gonna go with Judgment Day. Yeah, I think, even though I like Kevin Owens a lot, I think Judgment Day winning makes more sense booking wise, especially if you want to keep Judgment Day together. So
yeah, because at this point it was cool that we finally got the belts off the Usos. The Usos had them forever. It was cool, but we finally got the belts off of them. Yes, let's go ahead and put it on some teams now, and let's get tag team wrestling back to where it needs to be. That's pretty much all I got.
Gotcha. But so that's pretty much it. So that's it for Payback. And like I said, we're not really going to do anything about All Out right now because they're going to add about 3 or 4 more matches over the next few days for it. So we will cover it, though, next week to let you guys know. So that'll be pretty fun. But as for what you always do, our Heat of the Week, I think personally I can speak for Sauce as well, but Heat of the Week definitely has to go to me, to the tribute to Bray Wyatt, at least. That's for me. It has to, because the whole wrestling community world did their own versions of tributes here and there. WWE had their own on Raw and SmackDown, where they even brought back Eric Rowan, and he was with Braun Strowman, and have a really touching moment there. Yesterday on Raw, Seth Rollins came out with his world title, but he had Fiend side plates on his belt. They were his Fiend, like the Fiend, which I immediately saw it too. I was like, oh, that's so cool. He's got the Fiend side plates on his belt. And then, people with their, and nothing against Terry Funk too. Terry Funk, the loss of Terry Funk too was a tragedy, but he was 79. He had dementia. He had Parkinson's. He'd been bad for a while. Bray Wyatt being 36. No, it's still.
I would say this death hits. The last time the whole wrestling community was hit with a death this hard that it hit everybody. It's like he punched everybody in the gut was when Eddie Guerrero died. That's
exactly how I felt when Eddie Guerrero died too. Yeah, and of a heart attack too. He did because so. But yeah, so it's everyone had their own tributes. I even saw a couple in indie shows, like people where a guy did an indie show, real small indie show. He did what did he do? He did the Sister Abigail. Got the guy in the Sister Abigail, hit the guy, and he went on the ground, pinned him, but then he was just on the ground crying, upset. And the fans in this small podunk little place, which guess what? That's some of your best wrestling, some fun wrestling. They all standing ovation, like they knew, Jericho sang with Fozzy over in London before, All In, and they did a tribute and started singing for him, for Bray Wyatt. So it's just everyone did their own thing. So, and so like I said, tribute for Bray Wyatt. So, but yeah, so unless you got anything else, man? I think we got that good and covered.
All I got left to say is Labor Day weekend is coming up, so to everybody, hope you get your last minute trips in, enjoy that last little bit of family time before the grind comes back. As a person such as myself who drives to work, who has to go from one side of town to the other, I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be next week. While all the kids are at school, it's going to be a pure pain in the ass driving on the freeways because traffic's going to increase by like 30%. But hey, listen, can't cry over spilled milk when that milk makes you pretty good money. So
there you go, make that milk money. Let's go.
But on that note, y'all be happy, y'all be healthy, and most importantly, be safe and be good.